Thank you for staying with us. This morning we speak about Ramadan. And joining me on the line is Imam Taulib Searles of the Enterprise Community Masjid. Welcome, Imam.
Thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Thank you for being here. So we're talking about Ramadan, and we know we have started the holy months of fast and prayer. Can you tell us, the significance of Ramadan?
Well, Ramadan, good morning to all the viewers. Ramadan is that month where Almighty God would have prescribed fasting for us or for mankind. It is no different to the acceptance by all religions that fasting has some level of importance as it relates to purifying the soul and so on. Mm-hmm. So fasting was prescribed for us just as it was prescribed for those before us. That is the words of the Quran.
Okay.
So Almighty God is saying that fasting is a prescription for us. So we'll learn basically self-preservation. We'll learn how to become better human beings and so on.
Okay, understood. Now, as you said, with most religions or all religions, there's some level of fasting taking place. Now, we know the body is weak, we're flesh, we're still human. How difficult it is to fast, because the fast is a month, yes?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people misunderstand fasting. Fasting is from dawn to sunset.
Okay.
So it's like a half of the day. So after sunset, you live your life as normal. You eat, you drink, and so on. So fasting is a mindset first. You know that you are mandated to fast. So therefore, you prepare yourself mentally. Almighty God has made it mandatory on us. So therefore, it is not difficult once we know we have no choice. Right. Knowing we have a choice makes it easy for one to break the fast, because he knows that it's not compulsory, it's optional. Yes.
Right. And with fasting, it calls for a level of discipline, as you were saying, and sacrifice. You're sacrificing those hours of not eating, not drinking. Everyone within the religion, as a Muslim, fasts, the children and youth included? And if
no.
Okay.
Sorry. Fasting is basically for those who are healthy and strong and of a certain age.
Okay.
So children like babies right. don't have to fast. Of course, children under the age of puberty don't have to fast. However, they can practice, they can try it out, but it's not binding on them. Mm-hmm. Persons who are sick or who are on a journey, they are also allowed to not fast because you are sick and so on. So therefore, fasting is for those who are strong and healthy and can do it and of a particular age.
Okay. And for the younger persons, the ones beyond the age of puberty or within that age of puberty, how do you prepare them for this?
Well, you give them a test run. Okay. They may start fasting in the morning and they may stop the fast maybe lunchtime. They may just do half of the day. They may do 3/4 of the day until they themselves would like to challenge themselves to fast the entire day.
Okay.
Because they are observing everyone is fasting, and they know that they should fast the entire day. And they like to prove to the parents or prove to their friends
that they can
likewise, they can do it.
Okay. And talk to us about that period of fasting and observation. What is expected in that period as a Muslim?
Okay, so first I want to make the comparison that, the Christians and the Muslims are actually fasting for the first time in a long while, decades, at the same time,
period,
because we are in the Lenten period. Mm-hmm. We're in the Lenten period. So therefore, it means that the Catholics are they know only too well about fasting. Mm-hmm. However, they fast differently to us. They abstain from certain things.
Right.
We abstain from all food, all drink, all sexual relations, and so on. We abstain totally for that window of time. For the greater benefit of this fast in this particular period of time, it brings families together, because we start the fast together on mornings. We wake up in the morning, maybe 4:30 and eat until 5:10. That is the window we eat before we start the fast. So families actually are forced to sit together and eat together. Likewise, we break the fast together as a community. Mm-hmm. We actually go to the mosque and we actually break the fast as soon as sun sets. So as time of sunset, there's food shared in the mosque, and persons will sponsor the food for everyone to break their fast.
Okay.
Because there's a particular position in Islam that the person who provides the food for someone to break their fast, they get the blessings of all those who fast without reducing the blessings of that person themselves. So therefore, it means everybody is rushing to provide meals during the month of Ramadan, and of course, it's like a fight to see who can get which day in the holy month.
Okay, understood. And we know that Eid al-Fitr marks the culmination of the fast. We're coming out of a pandemic, still feeling the consequences of the pandemic. But how would this year differ to the past 2-3 years where we would have been in the pandemic? What sort of preparation goes into that?
But probably the best, I should say the best thing, but a lot of good came out of the pandemic because the world would have learned to operate outside of face-to-face.
Right.
So you find that even in the class, in different masjids, we actually had classes with Zoom.
Okay.
And we never had that before. So you find that coming out of the pandemic now, we see the benefits of and convenience of staying at home and have 100% attendance, which we never would have gotten before the pandemic. So now coming out of the pandemic, where we have the option of one of two, where we can actually choose to come to the mosque or stay at home. Some will come to the mosque and some will stay at home, and we have double meetings. Zoom will just carry live the classes and so on. So a lot of benefits came out of the pandemic.
Was it easy to pivot into that? Because that would not have been something that was included before.
It was very difficult.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, persons only got on board maybe 6 to 8 months into the pandemic.
Okay.
Because a lot of persons are not computer savvy. And, sometimes you will be very surprised to know that, some things we take for granted. While we have everyone with a telephone, it does not mean that everyone can use Zoom, Google Meet, Teams, and so on. But after 8 months, when the schools were mandating children to actually have classes online, the religious places likewise saw the learning curve to their benefit, because they had to make sure their children can go online.
Yes.
So they themselves was getting access and seeing the benefits of online. So of course it was difficult to start, but now that it has started, it might be difficult to stop.
Okay, understood completely. We thank you so much for joining us this morning. Before you leave, what message would you want the public to know about this time of Ramadan?
Well, I know this time all eyes are on us. We are on the world stage, right? We know that in Saudi Arabia, for example, where the Kaaba exists, if you imagine it, it circles around the Kaaba where persons stand in prayer.
Okay.
So when we stand in prayer in Trinidad, we join a big global circle of persons who are standing in prayer. And because we have different time zones, it means that someone is always in prayer throughout the globe. Because when it's night for us, it's morning for them. Morning for them is night for us. So there's not a single second where persons are not worshiping Almighty God. Okay. So the message for the public basically is to understand that there is only one God that exists, one God that deserves to be worshipped, and it's important for us to pay attention, especially now that we have Muslims in the highlight. Pay attention to what actually happens versus all the rumors and all the things that people would have been saying all the time. I would also like to make a special call to the world, to all those persons who would have gone to Syria and so on, and who would have carried that stigma. We, the Muslim community, is asking the world to bring home these women and children who would have been suffering in these camps, in tents, in these cold weather and so on. Little children and women, we ask them to come back. We ask the governments to bring them back. And this is my closing comments for this interview. And I thank you very much.
Understood. Thank you so much, Imam. We take a short break. When we come back, we have lots more in store. Stay with us.